I actually took a moment to read the copyright infringement that is provided before the DVD plays. Pretty much what the copyright infringement says is if you copy this DVD, whether this be for monetary gain or not, it is investigated by the FBI and be giving the following sentence: up to 5 years in federal prison and a fine of $250,000. And I made a realization that I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of. I realized that for copying a $5 DVD, you can be put in prison and fined more than you will be for beating an animal. According to the Sentencing Guidelines Offensive Table from www.mxccop.org, the prosecution of animal abuse. Now keep in mind this is a combination of, can be from being present at a dog fight to actually beating an animal. You can be given up to 3 years in a federal state prison and be fined between $5,000 and $10,000. The $10,000 being if you're hunting via internet satellite. I believe the prosecution of animal abuse to the highest degree possible is important for the following reasons. Dependence, it being the start of something new and making the world aware. I believe the dependence of animal abuse is very important. Not just dogs. Animals depend on us for so many things. When you domesticate an animal, they begin to depend on you for not only food, but also for compassion. Now, if you have rescued an animal and you attend, like orcas and dolphins, and you intend to release these animals back into the wild, you're instructed to raise them as if they are still in the wild. However, dogs, cats, horses, other severely domesticated animals that we own on a daily basis, they depend on us for food, for love, for shelter. Yet some of them are given abuse and beatings, and they're not given the love that they provide. It has actually been shown that in many of the dog fighting rescues, a lot of these animals aren't as aggressive as you think they would be. They're actually still very compassionate animals. However, they cannot be rehomed because of their dog fighting past. The start of something new. According to Fiona Baker and Leslie French, authors of Making a Link, Child Abuse, Animal Cruelty, and Domestic Violence, researching the lines between animal abuse and abuse in the family provided 4 very truthful points. 1. Animal abuse is part of a continuing abuse within the family. Many abusers who are prosecuted and investigated, it is being found that there may have been abuse previously in their family, or they are abusing their family, not just their animals. Number 2, animal abuse perpetrated by children who show large, later aggressive behaviors and deviant behavior. Those kids who are abusing the animals, whether it be before or after their deviant behavior and their aggression, tend to take it out more on animals because they think they can overpower them. And that just starts their aggressive behavior can actually make it worse. Number 3, animal abuse is an indicator of existing child abuse, which, as I stated in the first point, someone who is abusing animals now, it is quite likely that they were abused as a child, or they are abusing their own children, their spouses, and other parts of their family. And 4, therapeutic potential of animals in child development and within past abusive work. Just because an animal is abused, or just because a child has been abused or abused animals, does not mean that the animals can still not be used in therapeutic work. A lot of abused children or children who have abused animals still find comfort in other animals. Maybe that they might not be used to or might not be used to working with every day. The final point that I find prosecuting animal abuse very important with is making the world aware. According to my research, something written by Mr. Frank Assior and Mr. Phil Odlove in an article titled, "I'll Only Help You If I Have Two Legs." They did a lot of research on a child named Eric Smith. He was a 12-year-old who killed his neighbor's cat. And then through the prosecution of this child, he was only given yard work and told to apologize to the neighbor. Now, while these two gentlemen researched the trial and actually attended a couple of the following workshops, they questioned the man that was his defendant, that defended the child during the prosecution. And the man detailed that all the child was given was pretty much a slap on the wrist and told to do some yard work and to apologize. But they didn't even go further into researching the fact that this boy beat his neighbor's cat to death, and that this could have further retaliations on his life. I feel that prosecuting animal abuse should be put on a higher level, up in a level with maybe child abuse or even rape, because it can have such an impact on our lives just as much as it can the lives of people.